Hello, welcome back to Bethel Evangelical Free Church Hanley on YouTube. I'm Pastor Gervais Chalmley, and as you will have guessed, or gathered in fact from the title of this video, this is another video taken in a historic Shropshire church. This is the church of St Michael and All Angels, Pitchford. Pitchford Church is next door to historic Pitchford Hall, a grand mansion, today very much a 17th century building, but it has its origins back in the Middle Ages, and one of the owners, perhaps the original founder of the manor house, a man with the surname of D. Pitchford. Just have a look at the church history here. This belonged to the De Pitchford family from around about 1086, and then in 1301 it became the property of Walter de Langton, Bishop of Lichfield and Coventry. In 1473 the estate was acquired by a Thomas Otley, and his descendants rather, were responsible for the present hall as it's seen now, and for some of the memorials in the church. But the church was built by Ralph de Pitchford around about 1220 AD, so it is 13th century and it is in the early English style. It's very similar, in fact, to a couple of later churches in the same broad area at Longnaw and the more elaborate one at Acton Burnell. Both of them are these long, thin churches with no structural division between nave and chancellor, in this case, as at Longnaw. So we'll have a look around and see some of the memorials to members of the families who have lived at the big house. One notable visitor to the big house, indeed, was Princess Victoria, later Queen Victoria, who in 1832 visited. And she commented about it that the house was a curious-looking but very comfortable house, striped black and white, in the shape of a cottage. But of course, that's how they thought of these things. And from 1473 until 1993, the house has been owned by the Otley family, and the Otley family are responsible for much of the furnishings of the church. Well, let's have a look around the interior. So here we are inside St Michael and All Angels, Pitchford. Pitchford is named obviously for a ford on the nearby river. It was a crossing point, and it's believed that there has been occupation here since Roman times. In fact, there is some suggestion that there was a Roman temple where the church is, or in the vicinity of the church's location today. The history of the church, the age of the church, can be seen from this rather nice tub font. This is quite an elegant tub font. It has a curve to it, to taper, and it's this movement from the big fat Norman tub to the more elegant style as seen at Acton Burnell. We have box pews. I always love it when the box pews are still here, and these are 17th century. You can tell from the bobbin heads, and they're numbered. So number 11, number 10, number 9. They are numbered, and you know what your number was. And the pulpit. This is a proper 17th century pulpit with tester. It's a two-decker. The three-decker is a later invention. This is a two-decker with a reading desk and a pulpit with tester. And it's a sort of pulpit that you think of in terms of Puritans like Richard Baxter. They would preach from this sort of pulpit. It still has its original, it seems, or certainly a very old set there of candlesticks, and in fact it's in front of a window that has been sealed off. Here we have one of the family memorials, and here Anthony Charles Caulfield, second son of the Reverend Richard Caulfield M.A., rector of this parish, who died June the 4th, 1824, in the 19th year of his age. also Frederick Caulfield, 5th son of the above, aged 27, Lieutenant Adjutant to Her Majesty's 62nd Regiment of Foot, and of Susan Edith, his beloved wife, aged 22. They both died on their passage from Madras, the former August the 5th, the latter August the 23rd, 1838, on board the ship Duke of Northumberland, which would be a name like Duke of Northumberland. Probably you're looking at an East Indiaman, which was wrecked and lost 2 days after off Cape Agulhas in the coast of Africa, in memory also of Humphrey Jarvis, Lieutenant of His Majesty's 62nd Regiment of Foot, son-in-law of the Reverend Richard Caulfield, who died at Moulmein, East Indies, April the 14th, 1835, aged 27. So the whole family suffered all the losses of, and again the dangers of empire. There is the rather nice reading desk, and we've got these bobbin heads on the box pews. These are the choir stalls with their nice fronts, and the east window, triple lancet with heads, and of course it has a 19th century window of the Ascension. You will notice a number of these incised slabs. This is your cheaper version. This is the Otley family. This is Adam Otley, 1578. So this is, you can see from their garments, the ruffs and the armour that he is wearing and her dress. This is the Elizabethan period, as one of the chancel chairs. Here we have more Otleys. It's trying to find the date here, but this would be the period of Henry VII from the Styles. So it's a couple of generations earlier, and you'll notice that he has a dog under his feet, and she has that gabled headdress that is so common. What's behind the altar, you see there, that little bit of reredos, that is part of the medieval rood screen that stood here. And here is one of the great glories of the building. This monument commemorates Sir John de Pitchford. This is Sir John de Pitchford, and you can see him here. He's in the act of drawing his sword. Below are the families that he is related to. Sir John de Pitchford is he's the son of the man who built the church. He has his lion under his feet. Now remember that medieval artists didn't really know what lions looked like, certainly not here. He's made of wood. We might think, well, wood's a very strange material, but it's actually fairly common to have these wooden effigies, or it was. Many have perished being made of wood. And here we have very late medieval, more Otleys, with the daughters crowded under. Do you really have that many daughters? That is a very, very large family. Daughters crowded under the mother, and the sons, fewer of them, under the father. We can't see all of them because of the monument being behind the more important Pitchford monument. Medieval floor tiles. Note some of these are heraldic, and note also that they are basically a mishmash. This is not an original pavement. That's the piscina there, and more Otleys. Now, again, yes, this is Richard Otley. It's notable. There's no date for him, so this is set up when his wife dies in 1586. And he is engraved next to her in expectation that he will be buried here, but somehow his dates don't appear. Again, you've got the sons under the father and the daughters under the mother. Now, this is very interesting in terms of we don't have a date for his death. Here's Thomas Otley, under an Otley funeral Hatchment, Thomas Otley, Esquire, died 22nd January 1807, aged 91. Went for a good old time. And here we have a memorial to Julia, wife of Charles Cecil Cope, third and last Earl of Liverpool, who before succeeding his elder brother inherited this and other estates in County Salop and Montgomery from his cousin, the last Mr. Otley, in 1807, so that's this Mr. Otley. She died 8th of April 1814, aged 23, also of Selina, Viscountess Milton II, but eldest leaving issue, of their third daughters and co-heirs, who died 24th September 1883, aged 71, whose eldest son, Cecil G.S. Foljam, erects this brass. And here we have Lieutenant General Sir Robert Grant, GCB, and the younger son, Robert Jocelyn, Lieutenant King's Royal Rifle Corps, born 16th of August 1877, killed in action leading his men at Spion Cop, 22nd of January 1900. When you come to these churches that are dominated by one of the great families, you often find these reminders of empire. Up above we have a beautiful medieval roof, which we like, and again that pulpit. It's very narrow. It doesn't have the same accomplished style as the later buildings, but it is earlier. And so this is the oldest of these lovely early English churches. Well, we'll go outside and have a look and see some of the glories of it. Again, there's the font, and mustn't forget the north door, now a window, and the organ. This is again 19th century organ case. It's quite a normal, ordinary organ case. And then the east window we have to the glory of God and in memory of Lieutenant Colonel Charles James Coates of Pitchford and Woodcote, late of the Grenadier Guards, born 1847, died 1913. Woodcote, of course, is a nearby village. The name simply means wood cottage, cottage in the wood. So here we have these nice old radiators, very important in the winter around here. So we'll go outside and have a look around the outside. So here we are outside St Michael's, Pitchford. Again, it's a very simple building, as these 13th century churches tend to be. It retains its south door rather, so it gives an impression, as you can see, it's a simpler west end. And we process around the outside, noting the beautiful red colour of the stone. These outer gates are a memorial, like so much here. And we have these memorials. You can see there. That's the window. That little window is the one that's behind the pulpit, which doesn't actually do very much, of course, being behind the pulpit. And outside there is that little funny building. It's not it looks like it should be a vestry, but it doesn't appear to be connected to the inside. On there we have this old carving, which some have claimed to be Roman. I think it looks more medieval, but I could be wrong. There's someone leaving from the big house. And it's a magnificent building, isn't it? We don't have the clustered lancets as at as at Acton Burnell and at Longnaw, but nevertheless. And again, little bell coat, no tower. Don't do towers here. There has to be a vestry there. And there's a quick peep at the big house. It's a beautiful old manor house there. Queen Victoria thought it was magnificent, and she was right, as she was in many things. Not everything, but the site is moated. It's very common to find church and manor house next to each other. There again, the triple lance at east window. And just be a bit careful, because if I go too far I shall fall into the forecourt of the big house, which the people there would not like. And I wouldn't like it either. It's a bit of a drop. So there we are, that's the outside, that's the south side. We'll go around the north side now. See how that holds up. North sides are normally plainer because it is the, and of course the side facing away from the big house. So, but here, yes, it's quite the wrong time of day to be looking at this side. But there is the priest's door, clergy door. Simple arch, actually Norman appearance, although this is not a Norman church. Of course, this is quite. And there we have some herringbone brickwork, which does suggest to me that this is a rebuild of an older building. And we loop round again on the west side. More herringbone stonework, which is 1220s would be a bit late for herringbone, but it could be. And there we are. It's a magnificent building, little lich gate across from a pond in the estate. And it sits here as it has for hundreds and hundreds of years, memorial to the piety of the Pitchfords and their successors. Well, thank you for watching, and I trust you find these videos interesting. I certainly find it interesting making them, visiting places like this where I haven't been before, exploring the wider world. Well, thank you for watching, and may God bless you and keep you. Amen.